Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, just before I get into the video, I want to thank you guys yesterday for the reaction after I put out a video. A lot of you commented and liked the video. The video reached over 100 likes, and I really appreciate it, because what that makes me see is the fact that there is a lot of you that are watching my videos. Sometimes it can get a bit demotivating, but when I see that there's so much response and there's so many comments, there's so much reaction to it, and I know sometimes I don't see it because you guys watch the video and you might not comment, and that's why I probably don't see it. But when I realize the amount of people that are actually watching my channel and every video, even though it's not getting thousands and thousands of views, it still makes me feel that there's hundreds of you watching, which makes me feel like sometimes we undervalue how many people are actually watching. So for example, if I get like 500 views on a video, even though it doesn't seem like a lot, there's probably 400 people watching the video, which is crazy amount of people, right? When I get 2,000, that's probably like 2,000 people or over 1,000 people per vid or for that particular video. So sometimes I can underestimate how many people are actually interested in watching my video. Again, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for showing the support. Thank you for smashing the like. If you could do the same for this video and the future videos. But let's get into this video. Guys, there's some big news, breaking news. Oscar De La Hoya has said that he's willing to offer Gervonta Davis multi-millions and a potential 50-50 split with Ryan Garcia to fight in November. This is what De La Hoya had to say. I'm ready to make Gervonta Davis a multi-million-dollar offer to fight Ryan Garcia. I believe Tank Davis and his last contractual fight with Mayweather Promotions, I'm not sure who's promoting him now, but I'm willing to split this fight down the middle. I'm willing to make the fight available on DAZN and make it available to Showtime pay-per-view and split it right down the middle. Let's make the fight, said De La Hoya. That's the way to make, that's the way it can become reality. Working together, meeting halfway, and let's get this thing going. That's easy. Okay, then he goes on to say, you hold off 10% from each fighter's purse, and whoever wins, they take the 10% off the pot. The negotiations shouldn't be complicated. Tank Davis can make the biggest purse of his life fighting Ryan Garcia. That's why I keep saying all roads lead to Ryan Garcia. You keep fighting for a handful of $1 million, that's amazing money. But if you want to make multi-million dollars, you have to fight Ryan Garcia. I want to make it happen, and this is the way to do it. Okay, so that's Oscar De La Hoya giving his take on making the Ryan Garcia fight, which is obviously a massive fight. Look, I think this is a huge fight, monster fight. Is Oscar De La just doing this for clout? Is Oscar De La Hoya actually looking to make this fight? Is it just putting it out there? And look, I think there's a lot of issues. If he is not with Mayweather Promotions, why is he saying going 50-50 with Showtime? Does that mean, although Gervonta Davis may not have a deal with Mayweather, that means he still has a deal with Showtime? Again, we just don't know the ins and outs to his contract. But this is a mega fight, no doubt about it. There'll be people that will tune this, and this could do huge numbers as well, because both guys are pretty big stars. You know, Davis has a huge following, and so does Ryan Garcia. It's a massive fight. And I think it's probably the best fight that can be made for both guys financially. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a proper fight, a good fight. And I want to see it. I want to see it. Oscar De La Hoya the other day said that Haney and Gervonta Davis is the best fight that can be made in the lightweight division. And some people actually retweeted it or quote tweeted it saying this is supposed to be the promoter of Ryan Garcia saying another fight is the biggest fight that can be made, which I find silly, really. I don't think Oscar De La Hoya should be saying that, but then he says all roads lead to Ryan Garcia, so he kind of contradicts himself, really. Do all roads lead to Ryan Garcia? No, all roads lead to Devin Haney, because he has all the belts out of the lightweight division. So Ryan Garcia, although he's a big name and he's a big money fight, he's not a guy that people will be chasing for belts legacy, because he doesn't have any. He's never had one belt in his life. He's never been a world champion. So really, if you want to chase greatness, you have to chase Devin Haney, who is the undisputed champion at lightweight. But this is a fight which I think they both need. And I think at this point in their career, Gervonta Davis is taking fights which are less risk of money. And you may view this, the reason why I think Mayweather Promotions have tried to make this fight with Ryan Garcia, I think they know that Tank beats Ryan Garcia. In their head, Tank beats Ryan Garcia comfortably. And that's why they've been more persistent to make this fight. And I think even if he is with Mayweather Promotions, I think they would be more than willing to make this fight, because I think they would be very confident that Tank wins. And hence why I think they'd be more easy making this fight than they are with Haney. How come they want to make Ryan Garcia and not Devin Haney and all the other fights? They want to make this one, even though they've reached out, but they've never reached out and tried like they've tried with this one, because they know that this is a much bigger fight financially, right? Even though Devin Haney's got the belts, I think this is a bigger fight financially. And I think they're very confident that Gervonta does a job on Ryan and he gets a big payday. So I can understand why they want to make this fight. It makes a lot of sense. Make the fight. I think it's a good fight. Look, I think both guys can win. I don't just think this is a one-horse race. I know a lot of people would pick Gervonta Davis to beat Ryan, but I actually think it's a good fight. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a proper fight. It's one that fight fans will be very interested, very excited about. So make it happen. You know, I think they should make it happen. Definitely, I do. I think it's a big fight. Let's make this fight happen. That's all I'm gonna say. I think it should happen. It's a great fight, great fight, and I think the winner can go on to bigger, better things. They'll get a big payday. I just like this fight. I like this fight. I like the fact that, you know, it's a fight that fans have wanted for a while now, and both guys really need each other. Both young, they can bounce back for defeat, whoever loses. And yeah, you know, is this just all talk from Oscar De La Hoya? Possibly. I'm not sure. Oscar De La Hoya. If I put it this way, if it was, for example, if Mayweather is controlling Gervonta, I think he'd be more confident in putting him in with Ryan than Oscar putting Ryan in with Gervonta, because they're definitely, for me, Oscar De La Hoya would be gambling. But I think the reason why I think Oscar might be willing to take this fight, because I think he knows that Ryan Garcia is at the end of the road in terms of he can't keep making the fights that he's making. He's going to eventually have to make a big fight. And the fight that makes sense financially and the fight where he's risking and the financial reward is going to be the highest is this one with Gervonta. So he's probably thinking, if I fight Haney, is it that big? Yeah, he gets all the belts. But Oscar De La Hoya is looking at it from a revenue, financial standpoint. This is the biggest fight. Even Garcia has called out Gervonta Davis, because I think they're all in the same boat, because they all know it's the big money fight. And Gervonta Davis also wants to fight Ryan, because Gervonta Davis feels like he wins and he gets a massive monumental payday. And Oscar De La Hoya is right. Tank is making millions, but if you want to make multi millions, then you need to fight Ryan Garcia for Tank. I'm not saying Ryan Garcia is the money man, because Ryan Garcia has not proven anything to say he's the money man. You know, he hasn't done any pay-per-view. I don't think he's had any pay-per-view fights. So you can't say he's the money man. But this fight will definitely be pay-per-view, and it will definitely be a monster fight. I don't think Ryan Garcia has ever been on pay-per-view. So you can't call him a money man. You can't call him a massive attraction, because he's never even been on pay-per-view. You know, I believe Tank's been on pay-per-view. You know, and his last couple of fights have been on pay-per-view. So Tank's more of a star in terms of people buying his fights than Ryan. Ryan's never... Has he ever done pay-per-view? I don't think he has. And let's be honest, Ryan's opposition hasn't been great, but neither has Gervonta's really. And Gervonta's done some okay numbers. Even if he's doing 250, 300 with Romero, that's big numbers, man. For a Romero fight, 300,000 pay-per-views is a huge pay-per-view number. Look at the level that Gervonta's fighting at. This is what a lot of you don't understand. Like, Canelo's fighting at a much higher level and doing big pay-per-view numbers. This guy's fighting lower tier opposition. You know, like, he's not even fighting champions. He's fighting third-rate, C-rate fighters, really. You know, and he's still doing decent numbers. So, you know, Gervonta has the potential of being a massive star. And imagine a fight with Ryan, how big that would be. You're talking 600,000-700,000 pay-per-view buys if it's promoted correctly. Easy. Gervonta Davis with Ryan Garcia, and he's right. Let's do it down the middle, split it down the middle. Showtime gets half of it, and DAZN get half of it. You know, or the Showtime can show it on pay-per-view. And so the only problem is with that, I don't know whether the fight's big enough. When HBO and Showtime did it, that was different, because that Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was so big. where you could afford to do that. This fight isn't as big. You know, this fight isn't as big as far as I'm concerned. So can it be done? It's not easy, I think, to do those cross promotions. Hence why the fights, we don't really get to see a lot of fights. Generally, it's one guy goes over to another platform. But no one's going to be looking to give an inch here, because this fight is so big, everyone's going to want it on their platform. So I feel like neither one is going to be willing to give. So in order to make this fight, I think that's probably what Oscar De La Hoya is proposing, is probably what is going to be needed to have to happen in order for this fight to happen. So let's see if this fight gets made, man. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a fight for the fans. It's a super fight without question. And it's an intriguing fight as well. It's not a foregone conclusion that Davis wins. Ryan has a good chance in this fight. I think Ryan is probably being overlooked in this fight. But again, I think Ryan is very dangerous. He's very tall. He's long. He's got fast hands. He's a puncher. He can punch. He's got power. Yeah, so I think he's got a good chance in this fight. And also, Gervonta has not exactly looked invincible in his fights. Let's not forget, Rolando Romero gave Gervonta some trouble. And Ryan Garcia hits far harder than you know, Rolando Romero. The only thing I will say is that I think it's not just the fact that he hits harder, Romero hits hard, but I think it's the fact that, you know, Ryan Garcia is fundamentally more sound. He's just a better athletic fighter for me out of him and Romero. And also, I think what makes Gervonta Davis a very strong fighter and a very difficult fighter to beat is he looks like he's got a very good chin as well. So he's not going to be an easy guy to stop or knock out. And that's what makes Gervonta good. So, yeah, I think it's a proper fight. I think it's a very, very good fight. And I think it's a fight that I think fight fans will be very excited about. And I think it also have a casual appeal as well in the fight, where I think a lot of people will tune in to see this fight because of the casual audience. You'll have a lot of the younger generation tuning in as well. So I think this will have a huge fight feel about it. I like this fight. I generally do like this fight. I really hope they can make this fight. If they do make this fight, I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on it. That's for sure, because this is the kind of fight we want. And I actually think, you know how you guys like to say, I don't really use this word, but cap. No, that's cap. He's capping. I don't actually think this is cap. I think this is real. I think they are trying to make this fight, because I think both parties have realized that it's the best for both guys. So I think don't be surprised if this does get made for November. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you think. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.